There's a spirit here that is like no other, kind of like the blue smoke hovering over its river. Shakanahay. It seeps inside of you, gets you yearning for that simple life.
I mean, it's rooted and it's grounded.
Fun things to do all the time. I mean, it's like endless.
Like the rays of light from its reflective sphere, it sparks something inside of you. While you may not be from here, it can feel like home sweet home. They call it Rocky Top Country. You're going to want to hang around to the end of this video as we take you into the fall colors of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. While it is the gateway to the Smokies, Knoxville has become a favorite destination on its own. There is so much to do these days. In this video, we'll take you on a paddle wheel cruise down the Tennessee River, showing you the riverfront from both on and offshore. We explore downtown, see the street performers and the many outdoor eateries at Market Square. Take a trip down historic Gay Street, bringing you inside the East Tennessee Museum. Go to the lively Old City with trendy restaurants, coffee shops, and bars. We'll take you up into the Sun Sphere at World's Fair Park, show you the campus of the University of Tennessee and the unrivaled pregame activities, with the pride of the Southland Band at Neyland Stadium. We go inside of Zoo Knoxville, show many exotic animals, take you to the Ijams Nature Ctr and Urban Park with 10 miles of trails with a zipline and challenge course. We'll show Fort Dickerson, River Bluff, and High Ground Park, the highest point in Knoxville with the best view. Bike the 3rd Creek Greenway. Ride a sunset helicopter tour to the Smokies with Eric from Smoky Mountain Family. We'll explore 3 great options for cabins, including 1 unique horse stable and cabin in Knoxville, as well as 2 on the scenic hills of Gatlinburg. And also show 2 decent budget-friendly hotels. And I interviewed and found a new PR rep, a Rocky Top dog in Pigeon Forge, whom the Smoky Mountain family picks a name for.
So I'm going to show you how to pick up some reasonably healthy food and get it quick here at Buc-ee's.
So come with us as we experience the color, the spirit, the nature, and the people of Knoxville and the Smokies. Once you've experienced Rocky Top, you just might never be the same. If you are flying into the Tyson-McGee Airport at Knoxville from Atlanta, get a window seat because you will have a great view of the Smokies. This is from a previous trip with the legendary Bella. While it is not a highly rated airport, I found it to be convenient. It was very easy to get to the rental cars, being a smaller airport. Before we bring you on the Tennessee Riverboat, let's talk about Knoxville. Downtown sits about 3 miles from the headwaters of the Tennessee River, which is near Ijams Nature Ctr that we'll show later. Knoxville is the 3rd largest city in Tennessee behind Nashville and Memphis. Was recently rated a top mid-sized city. It's big enough to have great services, excellent restaurants, and increasingly more and more things to do. Yet it is small enough to have a sense of community and not the massive congestion of bigger cities. Although it does continue to grow, as many people are migrating from the larger cities to the mid-sized cities, and many people finding eastern Tennessee an attractive place to live. The James White Fort is known as the birthplace of Knoxville. James White founded the city and established his home here as a fort and cluster of cabins. To visit, it is $10 for adults and $5 for children 5 to 17. And just a quarter of a mile away, you can tour the birthplace of Tennessee. The Blount Mansion, home of U.S. constitutional signer William Blount, who helped to get the Southwest Territory admitted to the Union as the state of Tennessee in 1796. The name came from the Cherokee town of Tennessee. Knoxville was the first capital of Tennessee. The first governor would be John Sevier, whom the nearby town of Sevierville would be named after. Like many cities, it was the railroad that led to an economic boom. You can still see the L&N station. Was a passenger railway station. Today is a learning academy. There is also the historic Southern Railway Station in the Old City part of downtown. It is home to the Blue Slip Winery and Pelican Bistro. Knoxville for decades had streetcars that connected all parts of the city. You can learn about the history of Knoxville, as well as the region, what role it played in the Civil War, Prohibition, and moonshine, and about the Cherokee Indians, and the creation of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park at the Museum of Eastern Tennessee. Knoxville struggled for much of the 1900s, but the World's Fair in 1982 helped to revitalize the city when the Sun Sphere and the World's Fair Park was built. This Sun Sphere is 266 feet tall. You can take an elevator to the observation deck, $5 for adults or $1 for children. Gives you a 360-degree view of downtown Knoxville. This was the second to the last World's Fair to be held in the U.S., with the last World's Fair in New Orleans in 1984. The Sun Sphere as well as the amphitheater are the only two structures still standing from that World's Fair. World's Fair Park also has a festival lawn, water fountains, splash pad, and lots of trees. Recently, the Clinch Avenue Bridge received a makeover for the 40th anniversary celebration of the fair. The Knoxville Convention Center, located on the east side of World's Fair Park and just a couple of blocks west of Market Square. The center of entertainment in Knoxville is at the Market Square. Here you'll find outdoor concerts, festivals, and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1, May through December, a farmer's market. At the south end of Market Square, across from the East Tennessee Museum, is Crutch Park with sprawling oaks, benches, and a pond. There's also a variety of live musicians and street performers. This is Birdie. We saw him in our Mackinac City video last year. His dog, Lady Haha, takes money from the audience, puts it in a hat, then takes a bow.
Hey, take a bow, take a bow, take a bow.
He also has an older dog in retirement as well. We might see him again in our upcoming St. Petersburg video in January. By the way, you'll find Market Square, as well as the rest of Knoxville, to be pretty dog-friendly. In fact, there is a yearly festival called Mardi Gras that happens here in March, which is a pet parade that begins in Old City and ends in Market Square. While Jacob Roberts is playing the 3-string Japanese guitar, a look at some of the great eateries on Market Square. There's the Preservation Pub with a speakeasy vibe, a rooftop garden deck overlooking Market Square. The Kabuki restaurant for sushi and hibachi grilled food. The Tomato Head with a vegetarian fare and pizza. This is Atran. He's Amish and from Baghdad. There's Cafe 4 with refined Southern classics. Tommy Trent's Sports Saloon. There's Ruby Sunshine, a New Orleans-style eatery, great for brunch. Myrtle's for Southern fried chicken and craft beer. And the Brass Pearl Seafood and Oyster Bar. So I think you get the idea. There's plenty of great food at Market Square. All right, we have a boat tour to catch. We take Neyland Drive down to the docks for the Tennessee Riverboat. You can also rent kayaks and tubes here with extreme tubes and kayak rentals. For waterside dining, there is Calhoun's on the River with delicious Tennessee barbecue, as well as burgers and craft beers. Before we take you on the Tennessee Riverboat, wanted to show the other cruise option. The Volunteer Princess, a 2-hour sunset 3-course dinner cruise, is $60 for adults and $30 for children 2 through 10. Or a 90-minute sightseeing cruise, $25 for adults and $13 for children. The Star of Knoxville is an authentic paddle wheeler of the Tennessee Riverboat Company. They have several tours, including a blues cruise and a Parrot Head boat drinks cruise. I'm doing a 90-minute sightseeing cruise, which is $25 to $30 for adults and $15 for children 3 through 12. You can also do a lunch cruise for another $10, or a dinner cruise that is around $60 for adults and $20 for children. The Tennessee River flows for 652 miles. From Knoxville all the way to Paducah, Kentucky. We pass under 2 vehicle bridges. This is the Henly Street Bridge here, as well as 2 railroad bridges. This is the Norfolk Bridge. We pass by Neyland Stadium and the University of Tennessee. So I asked Knoxville resident Richard, who moved here from Chicago, what it is like to live here.
The things to do are unlimited.
Happened to have the honor to sail with some Navy war veterans.
And Army. Oh, yeah.
Knoxville is a great city for bicycling. There are several greenways that connect to each other. This is Neyland Greenway, which runs for 3 miles along the river. It travels along the Thompson Bowling Arena, Neyland Stadium, and the Tennessee Boathouse. It's a multi-use trail and also provides a nice scenic walk along the river for before or after your cruise or dinner at Calhoun's. For bicycling, it connects to other greenways that provide up to 18 miles of bike trails. All right, before we head to Neyland Stadium, wanted to show you the vintage style Main Street of Knoxville. It is Gay Street, and no, it has nothing to do with sexual identity, but was actually named after the Gay Street in Baltimore, which was named for Nicholas Gay. It is just 2 blocks east of Market Square, and where you'll find parades, theaters, art galleries, museums, and eateries. The Knoxville Visitor Center is here, where you can pick up this extremely informative booklet. Tells you what to do in Knoxville. And you'll also find live music here. You can use the absolutely free trolley to get around Gay Street, as well as Old City, the University, and the rest of downtown. However, it doesn't run on Sundays, holidays, or when there is a Tennessee home game. The historic Tennessee Theater, built in 1928, was Knoxville's first skyscraper. Today, it's a vibrant performing arts venue with Broadway shows, classic films, and concerts by top artists and symphonies. On top of the Hyatt Place Hotel is the 530 Lounge, a rooftop bar with views of the Smokies and downtown Knoxville. There's a classic vintage soda fountain, the Phoenix Pharmacy and Ice Cream Shop. Like the soda fountains in the 50s and 60s, it has an operating pharmacy. It is a little on the expensive side though. This homemade milkshake, $10. Next door is Status Dough for handcrafted donuts and coffee. It's game day. In fact, here comes the Bulls football team now. Gay Street is about a mile walk to Neyland Stadium. So you'll find Gay Street as well as Market Square pretty lively on game day. If walking, Clinch Avenue is the best route to take, as there is a pedestrian bridge crossing over the busy Henly Street. The University of Tennessee is just a gorgeous campus. Has over 360 programs and majors. The name Volunteers comes from the War of 1812, as well as the Texas War with Mexico in 1836, when so many Tennesseans volunteered for service. There is that sense of community and passion here. It's that Rocky Top spirit I was talking about. Before the band comes, let's take you to Gatlinburg now, where Rocky Top was birthed.
For it was right here in 1967 that Felice and Boudreaux Bryant would stay in room 388, and who would not only become the most popular anthem in college football, but also a theme for all of Eastern Tennessee. And the Gatlinburg Inn still stands today. You can stay here. It's right in the middle of the strip of downtown Gatlinburg.
Regardless if you are a football fan or not, if you want to experience something special, be on the northwest side of Neyland Stadium on Philip Fulmer Way about 2 hours before game time, as the pride of the Southland Band plays Rocky Top. Now, just by pure luck, because I couldn't see what I was filming, I happened to catch Smoky the mascot, who's one of the most famous mascots in the nation, having won 3 cheerleading college national championships. The song is really about a yearning for the simple life, and we all could use a little bit of that right now, you think? Away from the stresses of city life to the mountainous regions of eastern Tennessee. So, I proposed the question to Tennessee historian Eric with Smoky Mountain Family. Where is Rocky Top?
So the actual Rocky Top is on the there's a place called Rocky Top.
There's a town called Rocky.
Well, there's a town called Rocky Top too, and it is actually up 75. But there is a peak on Thunderhead Mountain here in the Smokies where it's outcropping up there called Rocky Top.
In addition to the band, there's also live music and tailgating on the riverside of the stadium. There's a line in the Rocky Top song where it talks about a girl who is half bear and other half cat. Well, this is her.
Come on! Woo! Let's go!
Parked and hollering beneath the mountain moonlight.
Got to hand it to the Vols fans. The passion level is high. On this day, the Vols would beat Texas A&M and go home happy. We have one more area of downtown to show you before we move out into the nature areas of Knoxville. On the northeast part of downtown is Old City, a lively, edgy district with an alternative vibe. There's artisan bakeries, coffee shops, trendy restaurants in 19th century buildings, nightlife in Irish pubs, craft beer bars, and clubs in industrial spaces. Old City Java has a nice indoor area as well as an outdoor alley to enjoy your latte. There's Old City Sports Bar, Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria, also Da Vinci's with New Jersey-style pizza, the Fin 2 Japanese Ale House, and Merchants of Beer with over 50 craft brews with pub grub and a dog-friendly patio with a food truck. There's Goldar here with her master Leland. And across the street is the dog park with separated fenced-in areas for little dogs and big dogs. Knoxville is the gateway to the Smokies, so before we show you the nature areas in Knoxville, let's take you on a quick tour you can do of the Smokies. We hop on I-40, head east to Sevierville. Located 30 minutes from Knoxville are your helicopter tours of the Smokies. We showed scenic helicopters in both our Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg videos. Now Eric with Smoky Mountain Family and myself are taking a sunset tour with MyFlight helicopters. They have several tours, all of which you can experience in a VR journey at the terminal before you even take off. Flights range from $25 to $250 per rider. But to really get close to the Smokies, you want to do the Mountain Jumper Tour for $150 or the Great Smoky Tour for $250. For an extra charge, you have the option to fly with the doors off. Now flying over Skyline Ranch. There's Hatfield and McCoy's Dinner Theater, and the island, all of which we showed in our Pigeon Forge video. We fly over Wares Valley, that we showed in the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge Smoky Mountain Nature video. The visibility of seeing the Smokies will be much better in the middle of the day, but seeing the sunset over the mountain ranges is just spectacular. We'll meet back up with Eric in Gatlinburg to show you some cabins and restaurants at the end of this video. But for now, let's show you some of the nature areas within Knoxville. Just 4 miles east of downtown is Zoo Knoxville. This zoo is home to over 1,200 animals and is considered the red panda capital of the world, with more red pandas born here than any other zoo. It is $27 for adults and $22 for children 3 to 12, and it is $5 for parking. Active military and veterans receive free admission. There's behind-the-scenes tours and animal encounters with otters, gray apes, lions, tigers, baboons, gibbons, and Cuban crocodiles. Among the other animals are western lowland gorillas, African painted dogs, lions, elephants, zebras, rhinos, tigers, beavers, black bears, and giraffes. They also have a soaring zip line. It is an additional $13 per person. It's really for little kids. Goes pretty slow. And you'll find reptiles here. These are Titanica water frogs, getting very friendly. There are also camel rides for $5 and a petting zoo at the Clayton Family Kids Cove. Expect to plan around 2 to 3 hours to see all of the zoo. Also just 4 miles from downtown, along the Tennessee River, is the Ijams Nature Ctr, where there's over 10 miles of pet-friendly trails to hike or bike. Admission is free, but they do encourage donations. At the Visitor Center, you can pick up a trail map and see an exhibit hall where you can see some smaller tanks of fish. It's good to have a map here because there's a lot of trails. This is the River Trail with long boardwalks. This is very close to where the Holston River and the French Broad River come together, forming the headwaters of the Tennessee River. During summer months, you can rent canoes and kayaks with River Sports Outfitters located near the Visitor Center. There's 4 miles of hiking-only trails. So much to do here, you can easily spend a whole day. There's things that I just didn't have the time to do that you'll want to check out, like the Ross Marble Quarry with an elevated walkway and a rock bridge. Also Meads Quarry with a large lake. Navitat Knoxville is also here, a family-friendly adventure park in the woods with zip lines and an aerial challenge course with bridges, swings, nets, climbs, and more. It is $52 per person. We now take West Blount Avenue up to the highest point in Knoxville, but on the way is Fort Dickerson Park, a preserved fort from the Civil War era that you can reach from the lower entrance, where there's a half-mile trail around the lake on crushed gravel. There's also an upper entrance on Augusta Avenue where you can view 3 replica cannons. I'm showing the Augusta Quarry here. We travel further up the hill. It's a gorgeous drive to High Ground Park, the site of Fort Higley. This park features a 1-mile peaceful paved walking trail through hardwood forests and remnants of defensive emplacements from the fort. Across the street from this is River Bluff Wildlife Area, which has a 1-mile trail on gravel to this overlook that gives you maybe the best view of Knoxville. 3 miles west of downtown is the Third Creek Greenway and Park. It winds along Third Creek as well as railroad tracks on an elevated bed. It is one of the greenways that connect to the Neyland Greenway that we showed earlier. Yeah, there's a new dog in my backpack. More about her later as we head towards the Smokies. And 3 miles east of downtown is the Knoxville Botanical Garden and Arboretum, with 47 acres of gardens and trees amid walking paths with old walls and stone buildings. There is no charge, but they do encourage donations. It's open 365 days a year. For lodging in Knoxville, you might want to try the stables at Strawberry Creek. It's out in the country, but yet just a 15-minute drive to downtown, and 10 minutes from the new Buc-ee's in Sevierville. It's a wedding venue, but when there's not a wedding, you can rent out the cabins.
So the stables at Strawberry Creek in Holston Spring is an all-inclusive overnight accommodations wedding and events venue. We have a glamping campground, we have overnight accommodations to sleep 20 guests, and we have a historic log cabin, sleeps up to 8 guests, and has been completely modernized. It was built next to a spring-fed pond and is over 200 years old. You get a great feel of history and modern when visiting the historic log cabin at Strawberry Creek.
I stayed in this cabin. It was great. It has this huge tub like you'd see in the Western movies. You get all the conveniences of home, but yet in a vintage cabin.
Holston Springs is our newest lodge, sleeping up to 6 guests. You have a king, queen, and a queen, and a downstairs venue. It was built in 2021 with aspirations of farm, chic, and very modern touches. Glamp Knox Canvas Campground can sleep up to 14 guests. It is a true camping experience that is now modern glamping. Everything you would need in a hotel accommodations can be accomplished glamping without having to set up your tent or bring any camping gear whatsoever.
You can book any of these cabins or Glamp Knox on Verbal or Airbnb. Or for wedding info, see strawberrycreektn.com. For a budget hotel, I found this Days Inn Knoxville East was pretty decent. Good room, good rate. About 15 minutes from downtown, although it is not dog friendly. This Buc-ee's opened up shortly after our Pigeon Forge video, and with me lodging pretty close to it, I found it great being able to get good food quickly. When I first came in, it was before I got a new dog, and after the death of Bella, I just needed a hug.
So I'm going to show you how to pick up some reasonably healthy food and get it quick. These glazed almonds and pecans are really good. They have chicken fajita tacos, a veggie burrito, fried chicken sandwiches,
Freshly made beaver chips.
but my favorite are these barbecued turkey sandwiches, which you find right here next to sausage on a stick. And then I pick up one of these Southwest salads for later in the day. And then for breakfast the next morning, I try one of these Southwest wraps. You can put these in the microwave, heat them up in the morning. Makes a good breakfast. And these coconut clusters are to die for. I got chia, sunflower, and pumpkin seeds. It's a jerky haven in here. They also have a good assortment of kettle popcorn. Too much sugar for me, but you might like it. And these one bars, which are low in sugar. For low sugar drinks, try these buys. Just 1 gram of sugar. And they also have items for your dog. So what do you want? You want turkey, duck, or lamb? You like lamb? Oh. And gas tends to be about 30 to 40 cents cheaper than the surrounding stations. And the other thing that's really cheap is ice. Only $2 for a 20-pound bag of ice or $1 for a 10-pound.
And they have lots of grassy areas for your dog.
And you can have your barbecued turkey sandwich. We're going through the car wash.
Now, to really get into the Rocky Top spirit, you need to pick up some Bulls overalls, which you can get at Dick's Sporting Goods at the West Town Mall. They also have a batting cage and rock wall you can climb there as well. This is a pretty good mall. They have a cheesecake factory as well as a local burro, like the one we showed in our Gatlinburg video. Also a Regal Cinnabar Theater that has pool tables, a bar, and a small arcade. Also, the main event is near the mall that has bowling, gravity ropes, laser tag, billiards, with an eatery and bar. A fun hangout in Knoxville. Now about the dog. So for years, Bella served as the Tampa Aerial Media PR rep. Well, she passed away at the University of Georgia, which we'll talk about more in our Atlanta video coming next month. So it was time to hire a new PR rep.
I'm taking interviews.
This is backpack. Yep. Smell. Sit.
In Pigeon Forge, I found a dog, wild as a mink, but sweet as soda pop. So I put her through the test. Further interviewed her at Jason Aldean's in Gatlinburg with Grandma's pot roast, which was great. By the way, this restaurant just opened after our Gatlinburg video, so it was great to eat here. They have a rooftop bar as well as elevated seating overlooking the Gatlinburg Strip.
So I ran into this couple from Knoxville that are helping me with my new dog. What is it like living in Knoxville?
Oh, we love living in Knoxville. It's the perfect place to live.
Yeah. I mean, we have so many different places to eat and like bars and fun things to do all the time. I mean, it's like endless.
Now the question was, what should I name her? Well, I give that honor to a family that has meant so much to me. For it was Eric that first called me after the death of Bella. For when I was down, my friends helped to lift me back up.
Help me out, my friends! Ah!
And on the first 2 days of this trip, they invited me to stay with them in this cabin.
This is definitely one of the best views that we've seen in a cabin, for sure.
Shortly after the death of Bella, which helped greatly, even though he ambushed me.
So Randy's upstairs right now, and what he don't know is that I'm about to introduce him to my little friend.
Due to my Marine Corps training, I survived the attack. By the way, this is Big Bear Shack Vacation Cabin, which you can see Eric's video of here. Now for the naming of the dog, I met them at another cabin which was later on in the trip. At Heaven's Cabin, which is brand new. You can also see Eric's video here of this cabin.
And finally, in the Pigeon Forge, I found a dog. And her name is...
Bailey!
Everything's back. Everything's back. I mean, obviously it's different, but everything's back. We got Randy with the backpack, and we got Bailey.
This particular cabin, though, is not pet friendly. But if you are looking for a budget and pet-friendly hotel in Gatlinburg, the LeConte View Motor Lodge is right in the middle of the strip. Rates are good. It's no frills. But I've stayed there on 3 different occasions this year. It worked fine. Bailey met a Cavapoo she liked, Kiki, who is owned by Happy Harold. Gatlinburg is just so beautiful in the fall. And it's a lot of fun on Halloween. They really go all out with the costumes and is family friendly.
Dorothy! Good to meet you. Yeah, where's Toto?
Behind you.
You're gonna be Toto for Dorothy.
Yeah, there's Toto.
These next 6 people are subscribers of ours. It was so great meeting so many of you in person in Gatlinburg. Thanks for saying hi.
No, I don't want to.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Hey, I know this is a Knoxville video, but you wouldn't mind, would you, if I take a minute and show you the fall colors in the great Smoky Mountain National Park? After all, this is the inspiration of Rocky Top. We did a 5-video series of the Smokies a few months ago that showed Bryson City, Cherokee, Gatlinburg, and Pigeon Forge. Alright, gonna show you one of the popular trails before we close out this video. The Alum Cave Trail. If coming here in the summer or the fall colors, you do want to arrive early, or else you could be walking 1 mile to 2 miles just to the trailhead. Also, it's a good idea to wear high tops. I think Eric might agree. This trail is 2.5 miles to the Alum Cave Bluffs, or you can go the full 5 miles to just below the summit of Mount LeConte.
Now, when you're out on one of these hikes, it's always good to carry a little Old Spice with you.
2/3 of the United States population can reach like the Smoky Mountains within a day's drive. So 1 day's drive to get here.
So we end this video at one of our favorite restaurants, Guy Fieri's, downtown Flavortown in Pigeon Forge.
Oh, thank you so much.
Try to keep them on the plate for you.
Yes, sir.
That's trash can nachos.
Trash can nachos.
And what is this?
Vegas fries.
Those are Vegas fries. What?
Brittany's
Brussels
favorite.
sprouts. Every time.
Thank you.
Rocky Top.
Rocky Top is more than a song, a town, or a university, but it's a way of life. It's a spirit. It's a desire to return to the simple life, a reminder to not let the stresses of our fast-paced world wear us down. It's a people who are proud of their homeland, and why wouldn't they be? Knoxville and Eastern Tennessee is so beautiful. But beyond the nature beauty, the people are also what makes it feel like home sweet home.
The values that are here in East Tennessee, I wouldn't trade those values for anywhere else in the country, you know? I mean, it's rooted and it's grounded, and you know, I don't have to worry about what my kids are learning when they go to school or anything like that, or you know, it's very, you know, it's they have a foundation here.
So when you plan your Smoky Mountain vacation, don't forget about Knoxville. It's a pretty happening place. I'd love to hear your experience in Knoxville and the Smokies. We are Tampa Aerial Media. We film travel promos across the USA. For stock footage, or if you'd like to hire us to film your region, city, or resort, contact us at info@tampaaerialmedia.com. Next, we go to the other side of the mountains, to Greenville, South Carolina, and Clemson, as Bailey begins her traveling into another state.
So they got a pretty good selection of dog uniforms here. Not only University of Tennessee, but University of Georgia, Clemson, NC State, Penn State. And they also have a good selection of pro teams. Bailey doesn't realize it yet, but she lives in this town with the Buccaneers. But she'll always have Tennessee in her heart. And of course, our previous video, Green Bay, where Bella's final video at Lambeau Field.
So look, so there's Randy on TV, and there's Randy right there.
From Rocky Top Country, I wish blessings to you wherever you may be.